In the world of global trade, understanding tariffs is essential for success. Think of tariffs as taxes on imported goods. These taxes increase the cost of bringing products from one country to another. As a future logistics professional, you'll be navigating these tariffs regularly. This guide will break down everything you need to know about import tariffs. We'll cover the basics, explore their impact, and equip you with strategies to manage them effectively. Whether you're just starting your journey or seeking a refresher, this guide will enhance your understanding of this critical aspect of international trade. So let's get started. In simplest terms, a tariff is a tax imposed by a government on goods imported from other countries. These tariffs make imported goods more expensive for buyers, including businesses and consumers. There are different types of tariffs. Ad valorem tariffs are a percentage of the value of the imported good. For example, a 10% ad valorem tariff on a $100 item would mean an extra $10 in tax. Specific tariffs are a fixed amount per unit of the imported good. For instance, a specific tariff might be $5 per ton of steel. Lastly, compound tariffs combine both ad valorem and specific tariffs. Governments implement tariffs for a variety of reasons. One primary reason is to protect domestic industries from foreign competition. By making imported goods more expensive, tariffs can help level the playing field for domestic producers. Tariffs also serve as a source of revenue for governments. The money collected from tariffs can be used to fund various government programs and services. Furthermore, governments may use tariffs as a tool to regulate trade balances and influence the flow of goods between countries. Tariffs have a significant impact on the process of importing goods. The most direct effect is the increased cost of imported goods. This cost is typically passed on to consumers in the form of higher prices. Tariffs can also disrupt supply chains. When tariffs are imposed or changed unexpectedly, it can cause delays and disruptions in the flow of goods. This can lead to production slowdowns and increased costs for businesses. Importers often need to adjust their pricing strategies in response to tariffs. They may need to raise prices to offset the increased costs or find ways to absorb the costs to remain competitive. Section 5. How are goods classified for tariffs? To determine the appropriate tariff for a specific good, countries use a standardized system called the Harmonized System, or HS codes. The HS codes are a detailed classification system that assigns a unique code to virtually every product traded internationally. These codes ensure that goods are classified consistently across different countries, facilitating international trade and customs procedures. The HS code assigned to a product determines the tariff rate that will be applied. Section 6. Calculating import tariffs, a step-by-step guide. In this section, we will break down the process into manageable steps to ensure you understand each part thoroughly. Calculating import tariffs involves several steps, each crucial to determining the correct amount you need to pay. First, you need to determine the HS code for the product you are importing. The HS code, or Harmonized System Code, is an internationally standardized system of names and numbers to classify traded products. This code can be found in the Harmonized System Nomenclature, which is a comprehensive list of codes used globally. Next, you need to identify the tariff rate associated with that HS code. This rate is essential as it determines the percentage of the product's value that will be charged as a tariff. Tariff rates can vary depending on the country of origin and the type of product. Different countries have different agreements and trade policies that affect these rates. Once you have the tariff rate, you can calculate the amount of tariff you will need to pay. This step involves some basic arithmetic, but is crucial for accurate financial planning. This is done by multiplying the tariff rate by the value of the imported goods. Make sure to use the correct value, which is often the cost, insurance, and freight (CIF) value. For example, let's say you are importing $10,000 worth of textiles from a country with a 5% ad valorem tariff rate. Ad valorem means the tariff is based on the value of the goods. The tariff you would need to pay would be $500, which is 5% of $10,000. This calculation ensures you are prepared for the costs associated with importing goods. Section 7. Staying up to date on tariff regulations. Tariff regulations are subject to change, so it's crucial to stay informed about any updates or revisions. Governments may adjust tariff rates, introduce new tariffs, or modify existing ones due to various factors, such as trade agreements or economic policies. To stay updated, you can refer to official government websites, such as the customs or trade departments of the countries involved in your import transactions. These websites provide the most current information on tariff rates, regulations, and any recent changes. Section 8. Smart strategies for managing tariff costs. Managing tariff costs effectively is essential for businesses engaged in international trade. One strategy is to explore free trade agreements, or FTAs. FTAs are agreements between countries that eliminate or reduce tariffs on goods traded between them. Another approach is to consider making strategic supply chain adjustments. You might explore sourcing goods from countries with more favorable tariff rates or establishing production facilities in those countries. Additionally, working with experienced customs brokers can be highly beneficial. Customs brokers are experts in navigating tariff regulations and can help ensure that you are paying the correct amount of tariffs and complying with all relevant customs procedures. Section 9. Real-world examples of tariffs in action. To illustrate the impact of tariffs, let's look at a couple of real-world examples. Tariffs, which are essentially taxes on imports, can have far-reaching effects on various sectors of the economy. In 2018, the United States imposed tariffs on solar panels imported from China. This move was part of a broader strategy to address trade imbalances and protect American industries. These tariffs were intended to protect domestic solar panel manufacturers from cheaper foreign competition, thereby encouraging local production and job creation. However, the tariffs led to higher prices for solar panels in the US, which slowed down the adoption of solar energy. This slowdown had a ripple effect, impacting not just the solar industry but also the broader goals of reducing carbon emissions and promoting renewable energy. This example demonstrates how tariffs can have unintended consequences, impacting not only specific industries but also broader economic and environmental goals. Experts have debated whether the short-term protection of domestic industries is worth the long-term costs to innovation and sustainability. In another instance, the European Union, or EU, imposed tariffs on steel and aluminum imports from several countries, including the United States. This action was taken to protect the EU's own steel and aluminum industries from what they considered unfair competition. These tariffs were implemented in response to concerns about global overcapacity and unfair trade practices. The EU aimed to level the playing field and ensure that its industries could compete fairly. The tariffs led to a trade dispute between the EU and the US, with both sides imposing retaliatory tariffs on each other's goods. This tit-for-tat escalation created uncertainty in the market and strained international relations. This example highlights how tariffs can escalate trade tensions and lead to trade wars, which can harm businesses and consumers on both sides. The increased costs of goods and the uncertainty in the market can stifle economic growth and lead to job losses, illustrating the complex and often contentious nature of international trade policies. Section 10. The future of tariffs in a globalized world. The future of tariffs in an increasingly globalized world is uncertain. As nations become more interconnected, the dynamics of trade policies are constantly shifting. On the one hand, there is a growing trend towards free trade and the reduction of trade barriers. This trend is driven by the belief that open markets can lead to economic growth and prosperity for all participating countries. International organizations like the World Trade Organization, or WTO, play a crucial role in promoting free trade and resolving trade disputes. They work to ensure that trade flows as smoothly, predictably, and freely as possible. On the other hand, protectionist sentiments and concerns about globalization have led to a resurgence of tariffs in recent years. These sentiments are often fueled by fears of job losses and the erosion of local industries. Some countries are using tariffs as a tool to protect domestic industries, create jobs, or gain a competitive advantage. By imposing tariffs, they aim to make imported goods more expensive and less attractive compared to locally produced products. The use of tariffs is likely to remain a complex and evolving aspect of international trade. As global economic conditions change, so too will the strategies that countries employ to protect their interests. As a future logistics professional, it's essential to stay informed about the latest developments in trade policy and adapt to the changing global trade landscape. Understanding the implications of tariffs and other trade measures will be crucial for navigating the complexities of international commerce. Section 11. Conclusion. Mastering tariffs for logistics. Success. Understanding and managing tariffs is essential for success in the field of logistics. By grasping the different types of tariffs, their purposes, and their impact on importing, you'll be better equipped to navigate the complexities of international trade. Remember to stay updated on tariff regulations, utilize strategies to minimize tariff costs, and seek expert guidance when needed. By mastering the intricacies of tariffs, you can contribute to the smooth and efficient flow of goods across borders, driving success in your logistics career. If you found this guide valuable, be sure to subscribe to our channel for more insights on international trade and logistics. We'd love to hear from you. Leave a comment below with your thoughts on tariffs, and suggest future topics you'd like us to cover.